everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla and it's time to crack into a good book. So today's video is going to be another one of these urban fantasy paranormal romance recommendations videos, and it's been a little bit since I've done one of these, so I was kind of like, yeah, it's time to do another one. So I think today's video is going to be books about vampires, which I somehow haven't done yet. So today I think I'm going to just talk about 4 books or series that deal with vampires, where generally like the main character is a vampire, or that seems to be like the overall theme, I guess. So I do have more than just these 4 books or series, but I wanted to keep these videos kind of bite-sized, so we're only going to talk about 4 of them today, and then I'll talk about the other ones at some later point. So now, some of these are books that I read a really long time ago, so I'm going to do my best to remember how I felt about them, but, you know, no guarantees. I'm pretty sure, like, some of them, I think most of these I actually did read in high school, so, oh no, that was a little bit ago, certainly. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Sunshine by McKinley, and I think this is a standalone as far as I can tell. So this came out in 2004, and I probably read it around that time, maybe a few years after that, so, you know, that was obviously a while ago. So I really don't remember a whole lot about it other than generally liking it. So, you know, like, I certainly don't remember, like, content warnings or anything like that, so if that's something that you're concerned about, you know, I would definitely encourage you to check out Goodreads reviews and see if anybody mentions anything like that, because, you know, it's just so long ago that I don't remember full details. But anyway, so this is about Sunshine, and who is our main character, and she is working at this, like, her family's coffee house, I guess, and makes, like, cinnamon rolls and other, like, delicious baked goods. It's like she's happy in her bakery, which her stepfather built especially for her, but she kind of, like, wants more than just this, I guess. And so she drives out to the lake one night to just have some alone time. And, you know, it's like there hasn't been any trouble at the lake for years, but there's trouble that night for Sunshine. She gets kidnapped by a gang of vampires who, like, shackle her to the wall of an abandoned mansion within easy reach of a figure stirring in the moonlight. And she knows that he's a vampire and she's supposed to be his dinner, but, like, he hasn't tried to harm her, I guess, by the following day. So, you know, it's like, and now he needs her help to survive the day. I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but some of the people on Goodreads are saying, like, she has some sort of magical abilities or something like that. I don't specifically remember what they are. It may be more like new adult, but I, again, don't really remember. And some people on Goodreads seem to not like our main character Sunshine's personality all that much, but I don't remember, like, feeling that way, but again, it was a while ago. But yeah, so I feel like, you know, that's certainly a much older urban fantasy book, but if that sounds interesting to you, I do remember liking it overall. It looks like I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next series that I'll talk about is the Undead series by Mary Davidson. So MaryJanice Davidson, I think her books are definitely more on the paranormal romance side, and she's got some that are, like, tied in with this world that deal with werewolves, but this one is specifically more about vampires. So we follow our main character, Betsy Taylor, and she's just had, like, a garbage week, basically, in the first book. She has lost her job, she's killed in a car accident, and then, you know, it's like, what really bites, besides waking up in the morgue dressed in a pink suit and cheap shoes, courtesy of her stepmother, is that she can't seem to stay dead. So basically, I mean, she was turned into a vampire, and she's not doing well with this, the liquid diet. And it's like her new friends have this idea that she is this prophesied vampire queen, and they want her basically to overthrow this power-hungry vampire. It's like, you know, who is a badly dressed Bela Lugosi wannabe. But she, like, really doesn't care about the vampire politics, but I guess they're bribing her with designer shoes. And then we've also got our love interest, Sinclair. So I remember, again, this is definitely more on the paranormal romance side. I remember there being, like, a lot of smutty scenes throughout this entire series, but I can't remember if I said the first book is Undead and Unwed. Of the books that I did read in this series, I gave them all 4 out of 5 stars, it looks like. So I read only up through book 7, and it looks like there are 15 books. So clearly I didn't read the entire series, and I don't remember exactly why I stopped getting them. I think maybe, like, they started coming out, I think what it was they started coming out in hardcover, and they're, like, kind of smaller, easy to read books, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to pay the full price for the hardcovers, and I don't know, I just kind of, like, trailed off on that. But I do remember really enjoying them. I seem to remember, like, it's kind of, like, snarky, and entertaining. I seem to also remember there's like the spawn of Satan or something that comes up in a later book, and we have some like dealings with the werewolves, which was entertaining. But yeah, so I feel like this is kind of on the lighter side of paranormal romance. They're pretty quick reads, just light, fluffy, highly entertaining stuff. So, you know, like, of the books that I did read, I do remember liking them. This is a much older series. Like, I think the first book came out in 2004. The next series that I'm going to talk about is the Night Huntress series by Jeaniene Frost. So the first book is Halfway to the Grave. And it looks like, so I've read all of these main books, and there are 7 books in this main series, and it looks like I rated them all 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Now there are a couple of spin-off series, like we've got this Night Huntress World, which are like 2 kind of standalone books more about demons, I think, and then there's also this Night Prince World. So the Night Prince series mostly follows Vlad Tepes. So he inspired the Legend of Dracula, obviously. So we'll put that aside for the moment and talk about the Night Huntress books first. So we follow our main character, Catherine, who is half vampire. And basically she hunts the undead because she's hoping that one of these vampires is her father, who, you know, like ruined her mother's life. So she kind of wants revenge against him. So she's captured by Bones, who is a vampire bounty hunter, and is forced into a partnership with him. So it's like, in exchange for help finding her father, Kat agrees to train with Bones until her battle reflexes are as sharp as his fangs, and she's amazed that she like doesn't end up as his dinner, and kind of like starts to rethink, are all vampires bad? The first book, you know, it's like, but before she can enjoy her status as a kick-ass demon hunter, Kat and Bones are pursued by a group of killers. So Kat has to choose a side, and Bones is kind of turning out to be fairly tempting. I would say this is probably more paranormal romance. There's certainly some smutty scenes throughout, but it's a really good series that I definitely recommend. Like, of the vampire series that I've read, I feel like this is definitely one of the top vampire series that I've read. In terms of like urban fantasy and paranormal romance. This was one that I read a while ago, so I don't remember content warnings, and definitely encourage you to check out Goodreads reviews in case there's, you know, warnings of that nature in these books that I just don't remember. I generally remember the series, but like obviously with the spin-off books we have some demons. I don't remember specifically if there's like werewolves, but we've got like witch hunters, and at one point they go to New Orleans and deal with a legendary ghoul queen. So that was really cool. But I remember like feeling like Kat was really kind of badass and, you know, just like a really fun main character. So then I guess let's just talk about briefly again the Night Huntress World books. So with these, it does look like it's recommended to read the books in order of publication so you don't get spoiled on things. We've got a couple of books, and they're mostly about demon shapeshifters. So I guess even if we don't have werewolves necessarily, we have these demons who can shapeshift. So there's 2 of these. That's First Drop of Crimson and Eternal Kiss of Darkness. Let's also talk about the Night Prince series, and this is also another spin-off of the Night Huntress series. These are not standalones. I think it's like a 4-book series. So the Night Prince series, again, is mostly focused on Vlad, and he can control fire, so he's like one of the more powerful vampires out there, I guess. Then we also have our love interest, Layla, who can kind of channel electricity and like learn a person's secrets through a single touch. She eventually gets kidnapped or something and reaches out with a telepathic distress call to Vlad. So the first book in this series is Once Burned, and there are 4 books in this, and I've read 3 of them, but I do have the 4th one that I've been meaning to read. So I've rated these all, the ones that I've read, 4 out of 5 stars. I mean, it's more of the same stuff, like definitely a lot of romance, but fun. It's a really fun world. It looks like the second book deals with carnivals of some nature. The third one deals with one of Vlad's old enemies. So again, I've read it a while ago, so I don't necessarily remember everything. I think Vlad is certainly more of like the overbearing alpha male type character. And then it looks like she has just recently started this Night Rebel series, and we're following a different vampire, Ian, and he's a master vampire, and I think is like fighting against a demon. And then I think our love interest is some sort of law guardian, and I don't entirely know what that means, but that sounds interesting. But it looks like there are 2 books out in that series so far, and I don't know how long this particular series is supposed to be, but that seems fun. I kind of want to get caught up on the the Night Prince series, finish that off, and then I can, jump into that. So the last series that I'll talk about is the Love Story series by Christopher Moore. So the first book is Bloodsucking Fiends, and I think there are 3 books out so far, and the first one did come out in 1995, so that is certainly older. But yeah, so we have Bloodsucking Fiends, You Suck, and Bite Me. So all quality names here. But so in Bloodsucking Fiends, one of our main characters, Jody, is turned into a vampire. That certainly wasn't in her plans, but she says she wakes up under an alley dumpster with a badly burned arm, an aching neck, superhuman strength, and a distinctly Nosferatuan thirst. So obviously the decision to be a vampire has already been made for her. Then we have C. Thomas Flood. He's working in a Safeway in San Francisco, so a grocery store, and he is spending his time night clerking and frozen turkey bowling. Jody walks in and proceeds to rock Tommy's life and afterlife in ways he never imagined possible. It looks like I rated that one 5 stars, and then You Suck and Bite Me were both 4 stars. This is certainly a really silly series. This first book is much older, so I read it a while ago, so I don't remember specifically if there are, any sort of products, I guess, of that time, that come up in the book that are maybe problematic or whatever. But yeah, I think this is one of his better series, I guess. His writing style is certainly unique and highly entertaining, at least I think. But I think all 3 books follow these same characters. I think in You Suck, it looks like there's possible relationship issues that we're having to deal with. I guess the vampire who turned Jody into a vampire wasn't supposed to be recruiting, and so we've got some drama for that. And then I think some people are out to get our main characters. And Bite Me, I don't entirely remember. I think we have a new character, Abby, who is working for the vampires, and I don't remember if this is specifically the human servants in What We Do in the Shadows. Actually, that's a really good analogy. I feel like this is sort of the same sort of satire as What We Do in the Shadows, and it's just very silly and highly entertaining. It kind of makes fun of itself. So with that, those are the 4 books or series or universes or whatever that I'm going to talk about today. Again, I do have more vampire books to talk about, so I'll do another follow-up video at some point in this urban fantasy recommendation series. I guess more of the books that I talked about today are more on the paranormal romance side. But yeah, so again, just kind of general overviews to pique your interest, perhaps. I certainly enjoyed my time with all of these and would recommend them. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books or think you might pick them up. For your question of the day, why not? Do you enjoy reading about vampires? That seems like a very relevant topic of conversation for this video. I hope you're having an excellent day and are reading something awesome. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, as that would certainly help me out. With that, I think I'm going to wrap it up here and see you in the next one.